Welcome to the Bleep Bulimia podcast with Stanley, who is an attorney, CPA, turned life coach and author. Hi, everyone. I am Lorianne. I am the host of Bleep Bulimia, and today I have Stanley Bronstein. Oh, gosh, did I say that right, Stanley? Okay, good.
That's close enough.
He's an attorney, CPA, turned life coach. He's also an author, and he's dealt with relationship with food for his whole life. This is what we're going to be discussing today. I really thank you for being here, Stanley. Thank you for being a guest.
Thank you for having me, Lorianne. Appreciate it.
So,
I'll start at the beginning and I'll give you the quick go through. Okay.
okay.
My quote unquote relationship with food started when I was 8 years old. My mother died when I was 8. It messed with my head, needless to say. And afterwards, I was living with my massively obese father who did not know anything about proper nutrition, did not have a healthy relationship with food, and we both just literally ate ourselves into oblivion. And if you look at my pictures, I got bigger and bigger and bigger. By the time I went off to college, I was a pretty big boy. Along the way, my weight would go ups and downs. I would have times where, I did better with food than with others. But when I look back, what I used to think healthy eating was back then is not the same as what I think healthy eating is now. I think I've learned a lot more about the situation, and we're going to talk about that. But that's the whole thing I went through. Anyway, up and down, whole life. Got married along the way. As I was getting ready to turn 50 years old, 4 months before my 50th birthday, I did what a lot of 50-year-olds do, men, women, dogs, cats, anything. I said, where am I going to be in 5 years if I'm doing what I'm doing? I did not like the answer. Because the answer I came to was I was committing what I call slowaside.
Mm-hmm.
I was slowly eating myself to death. I had a poor relationship with food, and I would eat, and eat. I would eat to satisfy my emotional cravings and everything. And I said, I don't want to continue this way. I turned to my wife. It was almost exactly 17 years ago. I'm 66 now. February 1st, 2009. I'm getting ready to celebrate my 17th rebirthday next week. And I said, I'm done. I'm cooked. No more. I won't say I hit rock bottom because I could have gone lower, but I definitely hit the point where I was done. And I said, I'm going to learn to start eating better right now, not next week, not tomorrow, not next year, next New Year's, whatever, right now, this minute. And I said, I'm going to start exercising every day if my body can, because when I started out, I had trouble walking 2 or 3 blocks at the time. I mean, I was not in good shape physically. And I said, I'm going to start walking every day, and my exercise of choice is going to be walking. I picked walking because I figured it was easy. You didn't need a lot of special equipment. You could do it anywhere. And I figured it would beat my body up less than anything else. So I am a major advocate of walking, especially for midlife people. Absolutely major advocate of walking. To be quite frank with you, walking changed my life and saved my life in conjunction with healthy nutrition. But one thing I want to emphasize right now, I have learned as I slowly got in shape that you cannot exercise your way out of a poor diet. It's all important, all of it. You want to learn healthy nutritional habits, and you want to get some exercise every day. But another thing I want to emphasize, you do not have to be perfect. You are human beings. We are all human beings. We are going to make mistakes.
Mm.
That's okay. The important thing is, what do you do when you make the mistake? Do you pull out a hammer and hit yourself over the head and feel shame and blame yourself? Or do you sit there and say, I screwed up. Boy, I screwed up big time. I'm going to do better starting right now. Learn from what you did and start doing better. See, those are the important things I did. I started. I didn't say it was too late, because it's not. As long as you are still alive, it is not too late. You get started and then you keep going. You do not stop. When you make a mistake, you pick yourself up, you hop back on the wagon, and you keep going and you keep going. You need to remember, the goal is not perfection. The goal is excellence. That's it. And because I used to be a perfectionist, I would complain that people were not perfect around me all the time. They weren't as perfect as I was, all while I was walking around in a massively unhealthy body and slowly falling apart. So there's a word for that. It's called hypocrite. But I was, and I'm not being hard on myself.
Mm, true.
I'm not punishing myself. I'm not making fun of myself. I'm simply telling myself truth. That is what I have. Out of my experience, I built a system that's on my website that I'm going to tell you about a little bit later. It's called the Way of Excellence. It's all these traits. It is a structure that I created out of my experience, and I purposely created the structure so that people like you listening can follow the structure. We all benefit from structure, and I made the structure to where it was flexible enough that you can adapt it to whatever your issues are, to whatever your needs are.
Nice.
You're going to hear, before we finish talking, you're going to hear about all the things I've done over the last 17 years. And to be quite frank, I've blown my mind over what I've been able to do over the last 17 years. That's how far I have exceeded my expectations. When you hear about it, remember, you do not have to be me. The world already has one Stanley. It does not need other. What the world needs is not for you to be Stanley. It needs for you to be the best, healthy you, healthy, happy, wonderful, loving you that you can be. That's what it needs. And if we all would do that, I think this world might be a little bit better place than it is
Yeah.
now. So that's the only thing. I'm going to give you 2 words. Here's what your goal is. Your goal is to beat yesterday. Your goal is to be better today than you were yesterday, and better tomorrow than you were today, and to keep going. I'm at the tail end of year 17 of beating yesterday. That is why the person I am today is nothing like the person I was 7 years ago. We have the same DNA, but that's about it. You know, I'm nothing like that. I went from a person who had trouble walking 2 or 3 blocks to a person who walks miles and miles and miles every day. I don't even want to tell you how much I've walked, because I did. It would probably boggle your mind. It's kind of nuts. And part of the reason why I do this walking is I want to see what I can do. I mean, I'm 66 years old, and I do things that I don't know any 30-year-olds who can do what I do.
Yeah.
So that's another thing.
Um,
When you, huh?
Walk to the moon.
Yeah, I mean, here, you want to see how much walking
I
I've
saw
done?
that. That was kind of neat.
Here's how much walking I've done over 17 years. I
Okay.
have walked 30% of the way to the moon, 72,000 plus miles.
It,
Okay, here's another way to put it. Just last year, at the age of 66, I started out, imagine I started out in Los Angeles. I got within 300 miles of London,
wow.
and I ended up somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic. you know, and I do good thing I know how to swim. And so I do this because I can.
Yeah.
See, the message out of my story is I've learned two things. First thing I learned is that I am so much more powerful than I ever imagined. I mean, it blew my mind. And I'm a confident guy. I'm an attorney and a CPA. I've had a successful business career. I could retire tomorrow if I wanted to, but I don't want to because I have a message and I want to help people because had a lovely, wonderful life and I'm continuing to have a wonderful life and I want to help people. It is my privilege to help people. That's why I'm here. Now, here's the second part of the message, and this is what affects you. If I'm more powerful than I ever imagined, so are you. So is everybody else. We are all more powerful than we ever imagined. I am no more special than you. You are no more special than me. We are all special, each and every one of us. You are more powerful than you ever imagined. Now, the first thing is you have to take that to heart
Mm.
because one of the problems is I can tell you you're more powerful than you ever imagined, but you might not believe it. Well, I'm telling you, believe it anyway. Just take it on faith. Take a leap of faith. Believe it. Then, because once you believe it, it then comes down to now that you know that you're more powerful than you ever imagined, what are you going to do with that knowledge? The answer is you're going to change your life. You're going to change your family. You're going to change your relationships. You're going to change the people around you. You're going to change your community. You're going to change your world. That's what you're going to do. All of these things, what I've learned out of my system, let me tell you a little bit about the system. Like it's called the Way of Excellence, and the website is thewayofexcellence.com. Thewayofexcellence.com. I have it. It's right here. I'll show it to everybody. I have thewayofexcellence.com. I have on there, I have tons of videos, tons of information. I have the entire system. I have 7 of my books. It's all on there for free.
Wow.
It is my gift to you, giving back. Because one of the beliefs is that I don't have to give you anything. I don't have to help you. It is my privilege to give to you. It is my privilege to help you. I have been blessed by what I have. It's my privilege to give back. So you have the system there. You're going through the system, you're going to learn some things. And I'm going to blow through it really quickly here. Um, First thing is it starts with number one, awareness. But what the whole system is built around what I identified as the 20 qualities of an excellent human being. And the whole thing has been designed, think it's an operating system. You have Windows 11 for your Windows computers. You have Mac OS for your Apple computers. Well, you've got the Way of Excellence for your human computer. It's your operating system. So it's what are the qualities of an excellent human being? Well, number one, they tell themselves the truth. They tell it like it is. They don't kid themselves. That's what I did on February 1st, 2009. I said, if I don't change my life, I'm going to be dead. And I didn't want to be dead. But then not only did I tell myself the truth, I actually took action. That's where the power comes in, taking action on it. And then the second thing I did was I started putting my long term over the short term. I stopped looking for the instant gratification, the instant fix. And I started saying, what is the best thing for me to do over the long term? Because wherever you're at, you didn't get there overnight. You're not going to solve your problems overnight. But by working through them and continuing, you're going to get better and better. Because remember, the goal is simple, beat yesterday. Now, let me tell you one thing about beating yesterday. Sometimes breaking even and not backsliding is beating yesterday.
Oh, that's nice.
So, cut yourself some slack. As I said, you don't have to be perfect because newsflash, you're not gonna be. I can tell you, I don't know you, Adam, and I can tell you, you're not gonna be perfect. There are no perfect human beings, and I promise you, you're not gonna be the first. I can promise you that. Now, then I took personal responsibility. I didn't blame my mother for dying when I was 8 years old. I didn't blame father for not teaching me how to eat properly. I didn't blame my wife. I didn't blame anybody. And I didn't even blame myself.
Perfect.
You know why? Blame is irrelevant.
Mhm.
Blame serves no useful purpose. And boy, I wish our politicians in Washington would learn that because
Oh,
it's crazy. It's
oh, I wish
crazy.
I
It's
knew that.
crazy. Like blaming each other. It's crazy. All that matters is identifying what needs to be done and then doing it.
Yep.
It's all that matters. So if you need to improve your relationship with food, identify what you need to do and then start doing it. That's all that matters. Okay. Then focusing on the possibilities, wonderful changes that are ahead of you that are possible. Now, here's the good one. This is a powerful one. Number 6 is perspective. You've heard me kind of hint at this before. All the things I'm talking about, you don't have to do it. You do not have to fix your relationship with food. You don't have to do a thing. You get to fix your relationship with food. It is your privilege to do it. You are still alive and breathing. It is your privilege to improve your relationship with food. Think about it that way. When it stops becoming when you have to do something, it's an obligation and you don't like it. You know, I get in from a hard day of exercise. I have to take a shower. Well, I'm tired, like hopping in bed, and I don't want to take a shower. Only problem is I stink and I need to take a shower. So I do it anyway. But if you tell yourself you have to, you don't want to. Tell yourself you get to, it becomes easier. And
Actually,
then,
interject for a second there.
yeah,
It is a total,
yeah,
and I mean, I know sometimes I feel the same way as you, but I lived in Turkey where there was a little village below where we lived, and they
mhm,
had to put buckets, and the mother had to wash her kids in the buckets and with warm.
yeah,
It's a privilege, and when you say that and saying, "I want to, and I'm grateful that I can," and it only takes 10
yeah.
minutes in bed.
It puts you just put it in perspective there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you absolutely did. You absolutely put it in perspective. I'm sitting here. It's just like right now. I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's 55 degrees outside and sunny, and I'm complaining that I'm cold while two-thirds of the country is freezing right now.
Yeah. Being here
You
in
know,
Canada,
so put it, yeah, Canada too.
no one
Put
living
it put it in
here.
perspective. Yeah. Well, no snow here.
Oh, lots
Um,
of snow here.
yeah, but we're complaining it's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all putting it in perspective. There's an old saying. I once complained that I had no shoes until I met a man who had no feet.
Right.
So
Love
put
it.
it on perspective. So then there's other parts of the system I'm going to jump through. One is persistence.
Mm.
I hinted at that before. Start it and keep going. You know, you know what my favorite animal is? My favorite animal is the snail.
Oh,
Snails are steady. Snails are steady, diligent, persistent. They get where they're going no matter how long it takes. That's what I like. That's who my role model is. That's
it's
who I want to be.
true. Mine is similar to yours. My dad called me this. I'm a turtle.
Yeah, there you go.
Both
I actually
carry
have a turtle in the other room.
their houses on their backs. They both move
Yeah,
slowly.
one of my neighbors down the street has a pet tortoise living in the backyard.
Oh,
Uh,
wow. They-
her name is Betsy. But so persistence, keep going. And then here's another big one: respect.
Mm.
Respect for others, but more importantly, respect for yourself. You know, I used to complain that I was not getting the respect I wanted from others, the respect that I felt like I deserved from others, all while I was walking around massively obese. And what I've since come to realize is I was showing the world an outside indication that on some level I didn't respect myself enough to take care of myself. Now we're hitting the shame here.
Mm.
Shame is not part of this equation. The reason why I didn't take care of myself is I had stuff going on up here. I mean, there was unhealed trauma from my mother dying that did not heal for many years. And and the funny thing is, if I take 1 minute, I want to talk about trauma quickly. Life sometimes gives us a chance for trauma. Okay, when my mother died, I did not cry, never cried, never for years. Well, 30 years later, I was at a full of my aunt, and I walked into the cemetery, and there was a 6-year-old boy there, one of my cousins who I had never met before. It was their grandmother who died, and he was standing by himself, dumbfounded, stone cold. And I looked at him and I said, "That's me."
Wow.
And so I walked over to him. I introduced myself to him. I told him, "I know exactly how you feel. I went through the same thing when I was your age." And I told him it's okay to cry. And I put my arms around him and I did not let go until he started crying. No one did that for me because no one realized it. It's not that we're cruel, just no one realized it and they didn't do it. And needless to say, all the tears I didn't cry at my mother's funeral, I cried them twice then. Um, so it's interesting how life sometimes gives us opportunities to heal, if you're on the lookout for them. Look, we all have trauma, all of us, some form or another. Some of us less than others. Some of us are more fortunate than others. I know that. I get that. I've had a lot of good fortune in my life. That's one of the reasons I give back now. And I'm grateful for that. But wherever you are, start from there. Don't beat yourself up. Be kind to yourself. Be loving to yourself. Now, do we have 4 minutes?
Sorry,
Do we have 5 more minutes?
we can do 5 more minutes. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to kind of take you through the tail end of this and tell you how to wrap all this together. I've identified 4 things to determine whether anybody's going to be successful at anything. The first one is, and these are concepts 16, 17, 18, 19 in my 20 concept system. First one is this. We have to be willing to do what it is permanently for the rest of our lives. Because if we only make temporary changes, we're only going to get temporary results. If you want to permanently improve your life, permanently have a great, wonderful, happy, healthy life, you need to make permanent changes. But as I told you before, you don't have to do anything. You get to do it. It's your privilege. You're alive. You get to do it. 17, belief. You have to believe that you can do it. There's an old saying, if you believe you can or you believe you can't, either way, you're going to be right.
Right.
Well, okay. Well, I've told you, you are more powerful than you ever imagined. Believe it. Know it. Start acting on it. And once again, you don't have to believe, you get to believe. It's your privilege. Now, discipline. This is important. And by discipline, I do not mean punishment. I mean self-discipline. It's identifying all of your negative habits. Me, I was drinking too much. Gone. I was drinking 2-liter bottles of soda pop, 3 of them a day. Gone. Quit writing. There were a lot of other nutritional changes I made right away. There were, I was getting no exercise. I was sitting on my rear end all day. That in. So I started walking, started out 2 or 3 blocks. Now I'm up to, I walked 5,166 miles last year, and I'm going to beat it this year probably. And just so you know, that's not my greatest year when I did that. But that's at the age of 66. You can do it. That's another thing I want to tell you. You can age backwards. Your life, this is what I've been told by other doctors. I've not verified the numbers. They say your health is 10% genetics, you know, and then it's 10% your environment, 10% what happens to you. I mean, if I'm walking across the street and I get hit by a bus, that happened to me, you know, and then it's 80% what you do to yourself. I choose to focus on what I can do to myself and for myself. Now, here's where the real power comes in. Commitment, number 19.
Mhm.
When you become 100% committed to something, it becomes easy. Because everybody says what you're talking is hard. No, it's not. Walking around massively obese was hard. What I do now is easy. That, trust me. And I'll give you examples. I am committed. I'm 100% committed that no unhealthy food is going to enter my mouth. And I didn't do that in the beginning. It happened over time where I did that. We went to Europe for nights last year. I didn't go to a lot of restaurants. I didn't have any problems, and I stuck with my program, and everybody was happy. I was happy. My wife was happy. Everything was good. Um, I I'm 100% committed that I'm going to quit eating when I'm full or close to full, because what I've learned is that when my brain thinks I'm full is not the same as when I actually am full. Body takes a little bit of time to catch up for your brain to get the signals. You know, so I've learned to quit while I'm ahead, and that has worked very well for me. I'm committed to walking every day, at least 2 hours a day. Over the last 12 years, I have walked every day for 2 or more hours, except for 3 days because I was sick as a dog those 3 days. And if you would have believed that that 3 days was going to interrupt a 12-year streak. Right now it's been 8 years because that was how long ago it was since I was sick. But if you told me it was going to interrupt that streak, I would have gotten up and I would have gone and walked anyway. That's how determined I was. But something to take from that. I've only been sick one time in the last 12 years, and that includes COVID. My wife caught COVID in the airport and brought it home. I felt it in my body. I mean, I had 2 days where I felt like I was 75%, but I still did my walking. I stuck with my program, and then my body threw it off. Now, that's how strong my immune system has become. I also had the vaccine. I'm sure that didn't hurt, but that's how strong my immune system has become. It is, there is, this is the last part of the system. This is what it's all about. This is what you want to be. There are 3 parts to this: mindset, movement, and eating. You want to have a healthy relationship. You see this little person who's in the middle here?
Yep.
That's who you want to be. You want to be the little person in the middle. Everything is in balance. Yeah, mindset is in the red. If you look at it, there's a green and blue yin yang in there. That's your eating and your movement. Because eating and movement affects your mindset. And then the same thing with the eating, it's got movement and mindset in it, and movement has mindset and eating in it. It's all related, it's all connected. When you get one part working smoothly, it all works smoothly, if that makes sense. Can I share that that I showed you, Lorianne? Yeah.
I just want to tell my listeners that if you want to see the card that he held up with those pictures, we are on YouTube as well. We're not just a podcast, so you can find me at Bleep Bulimia. And then you can also visualize what Stanley has
Yes.
with me because he's got a lot of visuals that are in this podcast. So you're welcome to go there to see him there. So sorry, go.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that being the website. One of the things I wanted to talk about, and I won't put a visual. There's something that I call on purpose eating.
Mhm.
Let me ask you, Lorianne, what is the primary purpose of food?
Well, it's like
It's to fuel our
say
bodies.
like a car, you put fuel to run it, but there's a lot
Yeah.
more than just that. There's the oil and there's all the
Well,
got to take care of,
yes,
which are the nutrients that you need to
true.
take care of your body. Yeah.
Absolutely. But that's why you want to eat healthy food,
Yes.
proper nutrition. Taking pleasure from food, on the other hand, is very important, but it's secondary, not primary.
Mm,
I do not, the food I eat, I do not eat it because I'm feeling bad and I'm looking for satisfaction. I eat it because I'm hungry and my body needs fuel. Now, with all that said and done, I take care to make sure the food I'm eating is something I enjoy and something I want to eat so that I take pleasure from it. But I don't do it because I'm in the need of, I don't eat because I'm in the need of pleasure. So I'm going to go eat something. That is the major part of what changed in my relationship with food. I stopped eating just because I felt like it. I eat only because my body needs fuel.
mm,
And then I eat healthy food and it's food that I love. Same thing with drinking. That was, what I did with the scotch when I quit drinking alcohol.
mm,
I said I was drinking it to feel better. It was not serving my body.
right.
So I got that. I tell you, I had my last bottle of scotch out of symbolism. I believe in symbolism. I poured it down the toilet and I hit flush. And that was 17 years ago. That was my last bottle of scotch. I haven't touched it since. And I'll tell you one thing, it makes going to a pub more interesting when you're the only one who's not drinking.
Right.
Uh, but, and it's all, and then learning to eat, constantly being aware. You mentioned to me earlier, Lauren, that you eat more slowly than you used to.
Yes.
You're letting your body, letting your brain, mind catch up to your body, letting it
So
receive the signals.
I'm also more aware of enjoying the food when you eat slow because you
Oh,
hear it a lot better. And so, yeah, I chew, and enjoy it and eat slow. And it just makes me enjoy my food better. So it's just what I,
yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's what I told people. They were talking about Stanley, the stuff you eat, like, do you enjoy what you eat? I go, hey, when I'm sitting down to eat, you don't want to put your arm on the table in front of me because chances are I'd eat it. I mean, I said, once I get going, I'm going. Yeah, and I'm enjoying it. So, yes, I enjoy it. But the funny thing is, what I enjoy has changed. Example, my best friend, when we were growing up, he tried to get me to eat a tomato. I wouldn't eat a tomato. There's no way you could get me to eat a tomato.
mm,
Well, I saw him a few months ago, and we were sitting down to eat, sitting there eating a big salad full of tomatoes in it, and we're both just laughing away. That I'm sitting there eating this and enjoying this.
yeah.
When 50 something years earlier, you could have never gotten me to eat that. So we are all capable of change,
Mm,
but it's all about loving ourselves, giving yourselves a big hug, learning to cut yourself some slack. You know, but you also have to be firm with yourself.
mm,
Part of loving yourself, there's a thing is tough love.
mm,
That moment when I said, if I don't change my life, I'm going to be dead. That was as tough as love gets,
Yeah.
but that was what I needed. And it's okay. But you notice I didn't say, oh, you're screwing up, Stanley, and then beat myself over the head.
Mm,
There and say, oh, I didn't say it's too late. I'll never change. I didn't say I can't do it.
mm,
I didn't blame it on anybody else. I didn't say I'm a failure.
mm.
I just, what I'm doing is not working.
And then you moved on.
And if I want, yeah,
Beautiful.
and if I want my life to get better,
Mhm.
this is what I need to do. And then
So
I slowly, gradually over time, to doing it.
perfect. So Stanley, I'd really like for our listeners to know a little bit, like just if you can direct them to where they can find you. I know you did give out your website for the excellence. I think you also have, I know we try thewayofexcellence.com. Stanley also does have a challenge for weight loss. Uh, of course, on Bleep Bulimia, we don't uh, promote this, as we like to be able to talk to more what we were talking about today, friendship with food, being able to have a better relationship with food. But it's something that you might want to look at. It might be something that there might be people on there that you can relate to on his other website. And can you share that, Stanley?
Yes, and can I elaborate on what you just said?
Yeah.
Okay. That website is called millionpoundweightloschallenge.com.
Mm,
Millionpoundweightloschallenge.com. Now, let me elaborate on that.
okay.
On that website, it is a membership website. It is free membership, but you have to register and create an account to do it. And the reason why is I wanted to create a controlled environment that was a safe space for people, because when you're dealing with food and
Mm,
a relationship with food, you need to have a sensitive, safe space. So that was why I made it a membership site. If you go on there, there is tons of information and videos on healthy nutrition, healthy exercise, healthy mindset. There's if you sign up, the very first page you're going to go to, it's a webinar put on by me and one of our experts, Rosalind Perez Casiano, who I need to put you in touch with. You need to interview her as well. She'll be wonderful on here. She is a somatic health expert. Somatic health, it's like your body, your feelings, getting in touch with your feelings. And she deals a lot with childhood trauma and that type of thing. She's in Florida, wonderful person, and it was hilarious. I actually got to meet her a couple of months ago. I was sitting here at my desk and I get a text from her. She says, Stanley, guess where I'm at? She was in town visiting with her husband. She was at a hotel 30 minutes away from me. I said, I'll be there in 45 minutes.
that's lovely.
And so we got to meet a lovely, wonderful person. But the webinar we put on, there's a lot of little short videos. It's about creating your new identity. See, that's what I did.
Hmm.
I changed my identity. I've told you I'm not the same person I was.
Right.
You become a new person. You're able to do that. You're able to rewrite your story at any time.
Nice.
And then the second thing, the whole website, it's numbered. It starts off with section 1, section 2, section 3. I did that kind of take people through the system in a logical order. Number 2 is 10 things about healthy eating. It's titled 10 things that are keeping you from losing weight, but you may not care about losing weight, but it's still got a lot of healthy tips like reducing sodium in your diet,
Hmm.
not eating foods with added sugars in your diet. I mean, like example, I go to Costco all the time
Hmm.
and I go there. What I do is I get there an hour or two early and I walk around the store for an hour or two to get steps in, and then I buy what I came for. So so I go there and I read labels on food all the time
Yeah.
to see what I think is healthy and not. You go down their cereal aisle.
Hmm.
Every single cereal has, except for the oatmeal, has tons of added sugar in it. Their
Right.
granolas, added sugar. You go to the grocery store, got a whole aisle of breakfast cereals. There's only one breakfast cereal on there I will eat, shredded wheat, because it is the only one that does not have added sugar. or added sodium.
That's really nice that it does give them a guide to that. Um,
Yeah. So, yes, yeah.
that way.
And then there's challenges on there, ways you can eat better, take control of eating, a challenge to rewrite your story. This is who you are in the past, what you want to do in the future. There's a walking challenge. Can you walk 20 minutes or more 7 days a week? That's
Yeah.
all. Can you do that? I mean, now I want to close with, if I can, with one thing.
Okay.
Here's what I advocate to people. What I do, I've taken it to the extreme because, mind you, I am 17 years into the project,
Right.
and I've pushed myself because I want to see what I can do, and I want to live a very long, very healthy life because I got work to do. Now, it's not what you have to do. It's not what you get to. I'm suggesting to you, learn what processed food is and eat less of it. That's the first thing. Second thing is quit eating 5 hours before you go to sleep. Don't do late night snacking. Learn to stop doing that. Eat healthy food, quit 5 hours before you go to sleep, and walk 20 minutes a day. Can you imagine how much healthier this world would be if everybody ate a little bit less processed food, didn't eat late at night, and walked 20 minutes a day?
Mm,
We'd be a lot healthier. And that's all I'm saying.
perfect.
I'm not saying impossibility, I'm not saying hard stuff. Remember, that's the greatest myth I've seen about getting control of eating, your eating habits.
Mhm.
People say it's hard. It's not. It's easy.
Yeah,
Don't
it
believe it.
takes
It's
time,
not.
and it takes all those things that you said, believe in yourself, willingness, making the decision to do it. And that's the point. Like me, it was the same thing as you. I woke up one day and I said, why am I doing this? I don't need to. No one's controlling my feelings. Only I can. And
Hmm.
my sister had told me, and I tell this story quite often. She says, I know you're still throwing up. I can hear you because I had just lost my business living with her because I lost everything. And I thought I lost everything.
Hmm.
There's nothing else to lose except for my bulimia. So it was like the perfect choice. And that love,
Well, since you're getting rid of everything, let's get rid of that too.
right? And, you know, her support saying, I'm here if you need to talk. I understand that you're still going through things. And she goes, I just want you to know I love you. And I thought, wow, like, why do I need this stupid thing to help me out? I don't need it. And that was it. So everyone's got a different story. I was very lucky and blessed that it was that, and it happened pretty well overnight. It did. It wasn't that it didn't come with challenges. I mean, being able to deal with your emotions because you don't have your food. I do have to cut this off now, though, because I am past my time. But I do want to thank you for your time and your honesty and everything. I think what you've done is absolutely wonderful. What you're sharing is wonderful. And that you're doing it for free is absolutely amazing. And I'm really glad that my listeners will be able to go and get some context, and hopefully it will help them. And understand, listeners, did you hear that? I was 48, Stanley was 50. There is no age limit to coming through something that you get moving forward in a healthier way will make your life better. Right, Stanley?
I agree with you completely.
Well, thank you so much for being here. And just quickly, though, one last thing. Can you tell us what your book is? Because I would imagine it is on Amazon.
These books, I've not put them on Amazon.
Oh,
They're
so they're on
they're
your
they're,
website.
no, they're on my website. They're on my website, and I made them digital only,
Okay.
and you can download them for free in multiple formats. You can, if you have an Amazon tab, you can put them on there. If you have a Barnes and Noble tab, like you can put them on there. If you want to watch it on a computer PDF, you can do it there. If you want to read it on your computer screen by going to the website, you can read it there. I made it digital because, look, I'm giving it away for free, but I don't want it to cost me either.
I get it.
Yeah. So I made it a way where people can access it for free and easy. And it's Yeah, and that's one thing I will tell you about my advice. Most of the advice you get is from people who want to make money off of you. And don't get me wrong, I love money. Money is important. It's a good thing. But sometimes the mission is more important than the money.
I
And I'm, yeah, I'm saying I have not asked you for any money. Lorianne hasn't asked you for any money. I'm not going to ask you for any money. It's because I want you to get healthier. And the reason I want you to get healthier is because I want our whole world to be healthier.
Thank you.
And
And
it starts with you.
yeah. And thank you again for being here. I really, really appreciate all of your wisdom and your sharing of your story. I really appreciate your time. Thank you, Stanley. Thank you for listening to this episode. Be sure to visit me at bleepbulimia.com.